Man has battled valiantly since the beginning of time to assert his superiority. Man is a fiercely territorial, intensely egocentric, and very competitive species. War declarations involving the enlargement of kingdoms and territory are common throughout human history. Many kings and leaders came and went, robbing and conquering other people's lands and claiming them as their own. Only a handful of the hundreds of thousands of invaders throughout human history include Alexander the Great, Napoleon, and Adolf Hitler. However, there have been several nations over the years that have nearly never experienced an invasion or an invasion in their immediate area. These nations possess an eerie immunity that has deterred attackers in the past and continues to do so today. The top 10 countries that are virtually hard to conquer are listed below. Top 10 most difficult countries to invade in the world. 10. Bhutan. There is hardly any self-defense capability in this little nation in Southeast Asia. Bhutan neither has a sizable army nor an air force that is well equipped. Bhutan's military doesn't even possess tanks. Bhutan, however, is one of those nations whose country has nearly never experienced an invasion. Bhutan is a little nation that is 300 meters above sea level and encircled by the magnificent Himalayan peaks on all sides. More, if an army is able to cross the border, the altitude sickness will make soldiers even more vulnerable. By the time this force arrives in Bhutan, they will be so depleted of energy and supplies that an invasion will be all but useless. 9. Iran. In the Middle East, Iran is among the most powerful nations. With the exception of North Korea, it also possesses the greatest number of adversaries that a nation can have. Since the beginning of time, several conflicts have broken out in the Middle East, both within and with other nearby and distant nations. Iran has played a big role in each of these, yet despite this, it has somehow managed to deter invaders. Geographical proximity to Iran is the primary cause of this immunity. Numerous covert bunkers have been built on these mountain summits, where Iranian spies serve as the permanent occupants and keep watch for intruders. Iran also possesses an extensive network of underground missile bases that cover the whole nation. 8. Australia. Geographical isolation is Australia's greatest defense against intruders. Because Australia is an island nation, any potential invaders are scared off and discouraged from coming. The outback, a vast expanse of desert with no signs of life for thousands of kilometers, covers 70% of its land area. Japan, which is 11,000 kilometers away and located across the Pacific Ocean from Australia, is its closest possible adversary. In other words, if the Japanese want to attack Australia, they will first have to travel over 11,000 kilometers of ocean. After completing this difficult assignment, they will have to deal with the fury of the infinite outback. Here, people either pass away from weariness and dehydration or are slaughtered by clandestine guerrilla warrior organizations. 7. Switzerland. 3 things make Switzerland well known across the world: Swiss watches, Swiss chocolates, and its steadfast neutrality in international politics. Switzerland is the only country that every major power gets along with and doesn't have any enemies. This is perhaps the reason that Switzerland serves as the headquarters for every UNO department. But despite the fact that this nation has never engaged in any form of bloodshed, it is one of the most powerful on the globe. This icy nation is best buddies with global superpowers including France, Germany, the UK, the USA, and others. The majority of their financial assets are held in Swiss institutions. Therefore, no one will dare to attack Switzerland unless a rebellious invader wishes to take the chance of getting into difficulty with so many strong nations. 6. North Korea. Only after the United States does North Korea have the second largest army in the world. 42 tanks, 458 fighter planes, 967 battleships, 700,000 active military troops, 4,500,000 reserve military personnel, and 8 nuclear bombs are all owned by North Korea. Even the biggest and most powerful nations in the world are intimidated by its nuclear capabilities. Even South Korea and the United States acting jointly were unable to conquer North Korea in the 1950s during the Korean War. North Korea has numerous adversaries and a lot of questionable pies on its pie chart. Nobody, however, will have the courage to make a statement on North Korea. Because of the USA and North Korea's hostile relations, the world has frequently expected conflict between the two countries. Even the USA, though, is hesitant to do this. 5. The United Kingdom. Britain, sometimes known as the United Kingdom, is more than simply an island nation. The English Channel must be crossed south of Britain for an army to assault the country. Additionally, it ranks among the world's superpowers. Even that is a challenging task because of the dangerous waters and the steep white cliffs of Dover. This was shown during World War II, when none of the Nazis succeeded in capturing Great Britain. The British military's technical prowess is something to be proud of. Its annual defense budget is 6th in the world. You could sustain a small country for years by investing all of this money in military equipment and training. 4. Canada. The placid Canadians would far rather have a snowy Christmas than a bloody one. But that in no way implies that Canadians are helpless or weak. In fact, Canada is so hard to conquer that even its adversaries wouldn't dare take a chance. Geographic location and size are Canada's two biggest and most powerful defenses. The icy seas of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, with temperatures below -30°C, encircle Canada on three sides. The world's most powerful army can be deterred by these subfreezing conditions and the country-wide snowfall. 3. Japan. Japan, another island nation on the list, is both large and little. One of the most developed, strong, and technologically advanced nations is Japan. History demonstrates its superior military and technical capabilities. The Japanese economy ranks fourth globally, and its yearly military spending exceeds $50 billion. They possess some of the most cutting-edge military munitions in the whole globe, with unmatched superiority and technology. The USA had to unleash 2 atomic bombs on Japan during World War II 70 years ago to prevent them from escalating the conflict. This demonstrates how strong and deadly the Japanese are. 2. Russia. Russia is the world's biggest nation. The main defense against any possible invasion is simply the topography of Russia. The joke among the Russian generals is that all they need to do is stand aside and let nature take care of itself. In fact, Russia's climate is fatal. Its steep mountains and subarctic temps make travel difficult. The Russian army will have spent so many resources by the time an army reaches the Russian mainland that defeating them will be a piece of cake. For the record, there are 7,000 nuclear weapons, 35 military aircraft, and 850,000 active people in the Russian military. Consider the challenge of confronting and defeating that level of military strength. 1. The United States of America. On the surface of the globe, many conflicts have occurred. The economics, dead toll, and resource depletion caused by these conflicts had an impact on practically every nation. USA is not. This global giant spends an amazing $600 billion yearly on its military. Additionally, they are permitted to own a weapon of their own. In the USA, there are 112 firearms for every 100 people. Additionally, Americans have such a strong sense of patriotism that they will shoot anyone who dares to view the country with malice. The geography and size of the United States are also significant defenses. The huge Arizona desert, the towering Rockies and Appalachian Mountains, a large network of rivers, plateaus, and the snow-covered Alaskan landscapes are all present. It is encircled by 2 enormous oceans, the Pacific on the west and the Atlantic on the east. The USA is the hardest country to attack because of all of these factors, in addition to having the finest military on Earth.